Hello, everyone. How are we doing today? So I must have gotten this question 50 times in the last couple of weeks, and it's actually increasing in consistency. It's not even 10 a.m. yet on a Monday, and I think I've had the question 3 times. And this is basically, hey, what are you going to do with all your tenants? They're not going to pay rent. Um, and really what it's come down to is people, I'm actually seeing a trend. Most people that watch this channel uh, have a big heart, and frankly, are concerned for me. Hopefully, this video shows you that we are fine. Please don't be worried about us. We are remarkably lucky to be in a position we are. So don't waste a second trying to be concerned for us. As you will see, hopefully in this presentation, we will be fine. Even if worse comes to worse, comes to worse, comes to worse, I'll go through it all with you here. So stay tuned and watch. And then there's 2 or 3 of you that for whatever reason, I've either pissed you off and you want to see me go bankrupt, or you're just a hater and you don't like other people succeeding. There are 2 or 3 of you out there, and you know who you are, that have been taking shots and going, you're going to blow up. This one rental at a time thing that you talk about doesn't work. Well, we're going to go through everything in a fair amount of detail, let you know where we are, and you decide if it's good or bad. And frankly, if you keep being nasty in comments, I'm just going to block you and I won't even think about it. So it is pretty funny to see. Lots of people like to see people fail for some reason. So in the end, this presentation is for all of you. What would happen, as many of you asked, if all 200 tenants of ours stop paying rent? So let's just have a logical, fact-based discussion. So let's get into it. Okay. So we're going to walk through this together. The premise I get is, hey, you keep talking about all these units. We'll just use 200. We're close to that. It's not the exact number, but at this point, who cares what the exact number is? But the whole theory is, oh my God, all of your tenants are going to revolt. They're not going to pay rent. They're not going to have jobs. That's the thinking. That's frankly the media scaring you. That's not how this works. I've invested through the dot-com crash where unemployment exploded. I've invested through the '08 crash, which is a great recession. I have historical evidence to prove it. But we're going to walk through like 15 slides, maybe it's 20 slides, I actually forget. And we're just going to walk through this together. Please let me know where you have questions. Please let me know what doesn't make sense. Please tell me where you think I'm wrong. And maybe I'm missing something in your questions, but here we go. So the first thing we're doing is we're conserving cash, which I've told you to do. We had some capital improvements that were already planned over the next 90 days, meaning new roofs, resurfacing parking lots, new irrigation, right? We had about $100,000 of capital improvements that were scheduled, bid out, planned, ready to rock and roll. We have simply delayed those. We are going into the summer months. The roofs should hold. If they don't, we'll patch them. But right there, we are conserving just over $100,000 in cash that we will use to increase our what if bucket to make sure we can get through the next 2, 3, 4 months, however long this takes. Again, this is prudent. Lots of people are going to be conserving cash. So this is something that we've done right away. The next thing I want to do is remind you what's not in our portfolio, because if you're following this channel, you may have all these other social media things going on and not realize that we have stayed tried and true to one rental at a time. We'll get into what is in our portfolio next, but let's tell you what's not in it. And one of the reasons I can confidently say we're going to be okay. First off, we do not do Airbnb. We don't do Airbnb in vacation spots. That is going to get crushed. We don't do Airbnb on daily rentals. We don't do Airbnb to travel nurses and other professions. This economy, is about to go on lockdown, and short-term rentals, this hot thing that everybody was trying to house hack and do all these crazy things with, we never got into. Um, we believe that, all these newfangled things will have their days in the sun and then become risky. People are overpay. People think it's easy. People think building a portfolio of cash flowing properties is easy. It is not easy. So uh, we don't generally change what we do. We certainly have looked at Airbnb. We keep getting reminded about Airbnb. We have assets that would make great Airbnbs, but we do not do it. Next, we do not own any Class A properties. Yes, it's fun to say you own a house on Boardwalk or Park Place or whatever you want. It's fun to drive by your 3,000 square foot, blah, blah, blah. Those don't make great rentals, in our opinion. At least it doesn't fit our market. We are not those kinds of people. We both grow up, not well off, so we're comfortable being in the market we're in. So we do not have any Class A properties, which I think are going to get rocked in this market, but we do not own any. Next up, we don't have any partners. We are not beholden to any limited partners. We do not have other people that could be in financial hardship that would force us to do something else. There are going to be lots and lots of partnerships that blow up that maybe had the best of intentions, maybe rocked and rolled the next 5-8 years in the past. But when one of the partners gets in a financial bind, they are going to act abnormal. They are going to force things. And thankfully, we do not have partners. We do not, it's just Olivia and I. We do have private investors, but they are more like a bank. They are in first position. They have an interest rate that they are paid and the like, but they are not partners. Though that is something that I've done. The other thing is we don't have any assets other than the home that we live in, any assets, any rentals that are above the median, right? The median for homes in Fresno is 260. We have some that are now creeping up over 200 in value, but we do not have anything at the 260 mark, and thankfully we don't, because that is going to get rocked. We do not have any multifamily that is above the median, right? 1 bedroom, 1 baths in Fresno today are like $80K a door. We do not have anything above that. 2 bedroom, 1 baths are 100 to 110 a door. We do not have that stuff. So again, we play in the market that got us to where we are. We have not deviated focus. We have not gotten cocky. We have not added poison to our portfolio. We keep going with what we have. So what is in our portfolio? If you've read our story, it hopefully is obvious. We have affordable housing. Not only do we have affordable housing, but we have affordable housing that has been upgraded beyond average quality. We are proud to have stuff that is often called the best things people have lived in. We do that on purpose. We get maximum rent. We get tenants that do not want to leave. If in bad economies, they ask their family to move in, right? Take the spare bedroom. The other thing we have is I've been very clear that 40% roughly of our tenants are Section 8. Does anybody really think the federal government will stop paying Section 8 tenants in this? We collect hundreds of thousands of dollars a year from Section 8. This is going to continue. We have roughly 100 multifamily units, right? Just a little bit more. We have over 50 single family homes. But again, all below the median, all affordable housing, all have been upgraded to a point that is often above average quality. So that is what is in our portfolio. So something we have done already, as in weeks ago, we have reviewed our tenant portfolio. We were looking for tenants that could be at high risk. And in our portfolio, one example was a commercial building. We picked up a commercial building that has 2 storefronts on the bottom and 2 apartments on top. That building currently is rented to one individual who has office space on the bottom and tenants on top. We proactively reached out, let them know that if the environment changes and they need help, we are here. We do not want to lose them. We will work something out. We will delay portions of rent. They know that they will have to pay something. At this moment, they said they are fine. But again, we were proactive and we reached out. in addition to this, we have identified our top 20 or 25 cash paying tenants. These are ones that may owe 12, 14, 1500 a month. And we are proactively reaching out, letting them know that if they are classified as one of the tenants we want to keep, we want to work with them. We have some of these tenants that were like, hey, if they don't pay, happy to have them go. But many of these 20 to 25 we want to keep. And again, we are willing to work with them long term. So again, when you look at our portfolio, we have certain sets of tenants because again, we are in affordable housing that we have zero expectations that the money will stop. Section 8, there is zero chance that Section 8 checks don't show up. Social Security, some of our tenants get a significant portion of their income from Social Security. We have zero concern that Social Security income will stop. And then we have the cash tenants. And obviously we focused on the cash tenants, more specifically the cash tenants with the highest rental amounts due, which happen to be in housing. So again, focusing on cash tenants, we wanted to understand who we wanted, right? As we said earlier, we have about 25 tenants that are at the top end of our market, at least for our assets. Most of these assets are already turned and in of good to great quality. So we are fairly convinced that these tenants, before they were to skip rent, would absolutely invite family to live with them before letting it go. Again, I have experience through the '08 crash and the .com crash, so I know what is coming. But yes, if they go on tenant revolt, there's every chance that they may not pay, and we will have to make decisions long term. Every landlord is going to have to make the decision what to do because our greatest fear is our tenants don't pay, but our mortgage payments are still due. What you have to be able to do is say, how long can I do this? And before harder decisions are made. We are already in a position where we're ready to go for 2 or 3 months if we have to. If we have to make those decisions, delay rent, portions of rent, whatever it is, we are ready, willing, and able to do that for the tenants that we want to keep. For the ones that have been problems or whatever, we will eventually use this as a reason to get rid of them. Frankly, we are already prepared to lose upwards of $10,000 a month in rent collection. Right, we are, as of last week, fully occupied, which has been kind of the running nature of the last couple of years. We are ready and willing and ready to lose up to $10,000 a month in rent. This is, in unit count, to give you a scale, this is probably somewhere between 8 and 20 units, depending on if it's all houses or all apartments. Maybe it's 8 and 17 units because we don't have any $500 units anymore for apartments. But again, well, this is something that we're kind of, we're planning to lose $10,000 a month as our base case, right? We're planning for this. This is what we expect. And be clear, it's not lose, right? It's a delay. We suspect that the federal government will come in with rent checks or not rent checks, but some kind of assistance for folks that we will get our money eventually. We may not get it April 1st or May 1st, but I fully expect to get most of this eventually back. For the ones that we don't get, they go out and party or do whatever they want. They will eventually leave our housing and we will simply rent it to someone else. So, and $10,000 a month is probably 8% of our total, of our gross, I think 8. Yeah, around the 8. So again, it's, you know, we're running today fully occupied with very, very little delinquency. So this is going to jump off the charts and could absolutely be a problem if we were not ready. I fully expect that the government will outlaw evictions. This has already happened in a lot of cities. I believe it's going to be a federally mandated thing. But that's going to come in context with, hey, we're going to take care of our people, our citizens. Even if they outlaw evictions and they don't, you know, somehow help people, which would be such a shame, we're ready for this because again, our job is to take care of our network and our tenants, and we're ready for that should it come. Worst case scenario, right? We've talked about an 8 to 10% drop. Worst case, if every cash paying tenant didn't pay, our income would drop 50%. Because again, we do not see Section 8 stopping. We do not see Social Security stopping. So again, we expect a 10 to, maybe a little more percent drop. But if everybody stopped and the federal government didn't do their freaking job, it could be this ugly. This is kind of the worst case of worst case of worst case. We would be down 50% in gross income. If we had a 50% drop in gross income, we could actually service our debt. It would be tight. A couple of months, we may have to dip into our savings to pay some of the debt, but it is a great pleasure that I can tell you we are so conservatively financed with low loan to value that even if 50% of our income vanished, we could find a way to service our debt. It would absolutely be tight. We would have to use some cash reserves, probably a few months out of the year, but we could, in theory, go 5 years at 50% gross income. Nobody thinks this is going to last 5 years. I do not think we will ever see 50% drop, but I'm just trying to let you know that we're going to be fine. If it was a 50% drop, I would simply prune some of our portfolio and just let it go, right? I've told you earlier, we laddered up some properties' debt and we paid off others. I would just let the high debt stuff go. So we would even be in better shape. But if we wanted to keep everything, we could. And I say that with confidence. So again, we're going to be okay. This is going to be a couple of months. But for those out there that want to talk about worst case of worst case, here it is. If it goes worst case of worst case and we have to let everything go, suddenly the American economy collapses and we go, I don't know, just whatever. I would have no problem letting everything go that has debt. And we would be left with somewhere between 40 and 50 units that we own free and clear. Again, this is not something we did when we were growing our portfolio, but as we exited, we thought it was prudent to create an oh shit pile. And we did. We have a collection of units that have zero, nothing, no debt on it. It is enough stuff that we can live the rest of our life on, insurance, taxes, and, collecting of rent. So again, we are going to be just fine. Thank you for your concern. You are all wonderful people. For the few haters out there, here we go. We're going to be okay. I will not be declaring bankruptcy because of this horrible event that we are all going through. Something to keep in mind, if you are a landlord, communication is key. Again, what did we do? We reached out to our property manager aggressively in March and had multiple phone calls and looked at the data and identified the risks. We reviewed our portfolio, our history. We have already identified the most at risk. And in that subset, we have identified the ones we want to keep and work with and the few that we want to see go. There's nothing wrong with creating a set of tenants that no longer need to be your tenants. And we will use and operate by the rules outlined by the government. And, if there's a eviction moratorium, so be it. We will just evict whenever it's legally possible. But most of our tenants are great tenants. Most of our tenants love living in these high quality, affordable units. And we are happy to provide that service to them. One thing we are also going to do is we have some commercial units, right? We bought some apartments for $20K a door, some others for $35K a door that are now worth $70, $80, $90K a door. And we are going to call them over the next month. We're not going to be in a rush. Everybody's in a rush these days. We're going to call them over the next 30 days and just see if we can get a rate and term refi. I think most of these commercial institutions are going to be nervous. So we are not going to ask for cash out refis. We're just going to say, hey, can you take our mortgage that's now, 24 years left on it, do a rate and term. So lower the rate, extend the term. That will drop our payments some. I fully expect to save, I don't know, $1,500 to $2,500 a month. So again, increasing our cash flow with no new debt. Not going to add debt to these apartments. I like where they're positioned. And I think they're going to be nervous. So I don't want them to be nervous about us. Another thing we are doing, for the last couple of years, we have stayed at a couple of our financial institutions and our cash balances have swelled. I am now moving capital to stay under the FDIC limits. We're going to have money market or savings accounts at multiple financial institutions under the FDIC rules, which is 250 for an individual and 500K for joint. So we're going to have cash spread out against multiple institutions. It's always been there. I just had full faith in the system as it was going. But at this point, it's probably prudent to move stuff around. And we are going to do that this week, probably by tomorrow. I have 2 accounts being opened today where I will fund either later this afternoon or tomorrow to make sure everything is well under the FDIC rules. We are absolutely working with our private lenders. We are so pleased to have a list of folks we have worked with already who have seen significant returns, whether those be the ones we've had today with the 6 and 20, or even the ones that we worked with a ton in the past where we offered 10% interest. We are communicating with them, telling them we are getting ready to rock and roll. The second half of this year is going to be awesome, and we will create a program for the folks that want to participate, either with interest only or by being part of the profit, depending on how we choose to process the assets that we will absolutely be acquiring this year. Something else I'm proud of, we are going to be using the hub, that building I bought on Van Ness and McKinley in Fresno. I'm going to be helping the 4 rock star wholesalers that run independent companies to market and chase down subject to deals. We are going to add lots and lots of units this year via subject to, because some people bought things that they just don't want anymore. They've got to move for job transfer, death, and divorce. And we are going to be able to acquire these with micro payments of cash infusion. We're going to look for owner finance deals. I am going to be aggressive in this cycle. So I want to be very clear. Not only are we going to be fine, but I am going to be super aggressive in this cycle. I have tried to remain calm and measured in all my videos, but I want you to know how excited I am about what is coming. We are going to be able to buy single family rentals that are with fixed rate debt, that are outstanding assets to own for 30 years. People, you need to learn your market. You need to go get 4 of these FHA loans at ridiculously fixed rate 30-year loans. If you don't do it now, you're never going to do it. You need to be excited. I hope to train hundreds of people how to learn their market. There's a link below to my course. It is less than $200 and you can fundamentally change your life and you can get excited like me. I am so excited about this year because I know my market. I've looked at it for 20 years. What I teach you in my course is what I do every single day. That's why I'm excited. I know what is coming. If you have any interest in real estate investment, take this opportunity to learn your market. You don't know how to do it. If you don't, buy the course, learn it. And you're going to build confidence and focus. And let's rock and roll this thing together. You're going to be slow. You're going to be at home working anyway. Change your future, folks. I don't know what else to do for you. Buy the course, change your future. Be excited like I am. I'm only excited because I've seen this before. I saw what happened in 2010. You were scared. I was aggressive. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm already working with agents, real estate agents in Fresno. I hate to tell you this. Your listings are going to drop. People are scared. Your buyers are going to back out. Your owner-occupant buyers are going to back out. You need to find investors like me. I will buy lots of stuff this year, but I'm going to buy certain things. I'm going to buy from motivated sellers. So if you're an agent in Fresno or Madera, you need to reach out to me. Let's work together. I will buy every deal that comes across my table that hits my criteria. I have the capital. I'm not concerned, but I will be cheap. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to be cheap. I will not buy your overpriced junk. I am going to be cheap. Owner financing, very exciting. Subject to, very exciting. Real estate agents, you bring me a deal, you will get paid. If there's not enough cash in the deal from the seller, I will pay you, but you have to bring me deals. Frankly, Again, this video is about our business, so I will not hesitate. I will be bigger than we were at the end of this year than the beginning. I am so excited. I've spent years learning my market. I have told you when I sell at the top. I've told you when I go all in. I am going to be super aggressive. Again, folks, don't let this opportunity go. Buy your first or second rental property here. Don't be stupid. Don't be in a rush. Let's buy great deals. But come on, learn your market. Do your homework. You're at home. This is the perfect time. You're so busy you couldn't do my homework before. Guess what? You can do it now. You need to change your future. I'm sorry. Stop thinking about it. Go get the course today. It's $199, the link in the description. Spend an hour a day on it. It will fundamentally change your life. If you don't believe me, watch the 3 or 4 student videos I have. See how it created focus and confidence. That's all I promise. Focus and confidence. You need to get the course. I don't know what to say. This one's a little I told you so. I'm sorry, but again, this is about our business. I've been telling you for the last 6 months, we sold multifamily properties. And I told you I was selling at the peak. I wasn't even shy about it. That allowed us to build the cash reserve that we have today, and we will be fine. We could suffer a 50% loss in rent, gross rent, and we'll be fine. Told you. I don't know how many times I have to be right. We sold at the peak in 08. We went all in 10. We sold multifamily in 19. We're going to be super aggressive in single family in 20. I don't know how many times I have to be right before people stop calling me lucky. Fine, I'm lucky, but damn, I'm lucky a lot. And I'm lucky because I learned my market. Again, the best thing I've ever created is my online course because it is fully documentation of what I do every single day. Get the course, change your financial future. So in the end, we are prepared for a nasty, nasty winter. Just like 08, we didn't see it coming, but we were prepared. I had no idea that the house I sold at 260 would be retrade at 75. No idea. I just knew it was overvalued. I had no idea the apartments I sold for millions of dollars would suddenly be worth a lot less. But we are ready for a winter. Winter is here. And again, we are going to buy lots of assets, lots of quality assets in this winter. And we are going to be bigger at the end of this. So any questions? Did I miss anything? Did I go too fast? Again, I wasn't trying to be, I wasn't trying to be arrogant, or I didn't want to be a Cheshire cat because I know lots of people are going to suffer. But so many of you have voiced concern. I thought I would just put it out there black and white. A few of you, and you know who you are, have been going, you're going to go bankrupt. Hopefully I've shown you that that's unlikely. But even if it does, so we have to live on 40 assets that we own free and clear. Oh, well. And why would you want to celebrate somebody going bankrupt? That's just mean. That's just mean. At the end of the day, you need to take this pause, this opportunity to learn your market. There's nothing new in real estate investing. I don't promise anything new in my course. What I do promise is I'm going to help you create focus. I'm going to allow you to build confidence because a lot of you have your confidence that is shaken. Buy the course, create focus, build confidence, and please buy something this year that's conservatively financed with cheap 30-year debt. Questions below. Let me know what you think. Take care. Thanks.